something a little different today. We're going to start with our monthly Ask the Mayor segment, and we welcome you, Mayor Brown. He has been busy working on the State of the City address, which is coming up on Monday. Can you give us a preview at all of what your view of the State of the City is?
This will be the most comprehensive State of the City address ever. Not only will it be a report on the state of the city, but we will also release several budgets on that day. So the city budget, the American Rescue Plan Act budget, the capital budget, and the 4-year plan for the city, almost $1 billion in spending. So this is going to be the first time that we've done all of this in one session.
It is the first time for that. Is there anything that you can give us a preview of there in terms of the budget and policy?
There will be important new equipment. We talked about the storms and some of the equipment that's needed. We'll be announcing some equipment that hopefully will make our city workers more effective in some of the worst of the weather conditions. So that will be a big announcement. There'll be a number of big announcements in the State of the City speech.
Okay, and speaking of the blizzard and snow clearing, I know you wanted to mention that the deadline for residents and business owners affected by the blizzard to apply for low-interest federal disaster loans is very soon. Now, it was supposed to be tomorrow, but it's been extended, right?
I think it's Friday. It was supposed to be 1 week. It was extended 2 weeks, and then it was extended 3 weeks. We've been working with the Small Business Administration. They have been absolutely wonderful, and the federal government has taken a position that they want everyone, every homeowner, renter, small business, not-for-profit that was affected by the December 2022 blizzard to be able to apply for a low-interest loan.
Okay, one other deadline coming up that I know you're interested in is to apply to become a police officer in the city of Buffalo.
Yes, the deadline for applying to become a police officer is May 17th. The exam is in June. We have over 500 people who have signed up thus far. It's a pretty competitive process. We've opened it up this year to people all across the state of New York.
What, recruiting across the state, is that right?
Recruiting across the state. They have to move into the city of Buffalo by a certain period of time to be eligible to take the job.
Okay. We have a very important anniversary coming up on Mother's Day weekend, as a matter of fact, which is the first year anniversary of the shooting at Tops. Can you tell us what the city is planning for that?
The city has been working on a 5/14 Remembrance Weekend. We have worked with families of those whose lives were taken. We've worked with survivors. We've worked with companies. We've worked with businesses in the Jefferson Avenue area to plan a Remembrance Weekend, which will be May 12th, which is Friday, May 13th, which is Saturday, and May 14th, which is actually Mother's Day. It will be a period of reflection, remembrance, but also a focus on continuing to build up that part of the city of Buffalo.
Well, there's a lot to talk about what's happened in that year since, and of course, we'll be doing that here on air and with you as well. I do want to mention one other thing, and that is, and we talked briefly when you were there last week, the Mayor's Conference, the African American Mayor's Conference in Washington, D.C., in which you met with the president, you and just a small group from there. Is there anything that you want to share about what happened there?
Great opportunity to meet with the president. I'm an officer in the African American Mayors Association, was previously serving as treasurer, was elected to second vice president. The president was extremely warm and welcoming. We were able to meet with the president in the Oval Office, just an incredible honor. The president asked me about Buffalo and 514, very fresh in his mind, expressed his desire to continue to help this community, and said he saw mayors as an incredible partner with the White House in delivering services to people all across this country. I can't thank the president enough for the warm greeting that he gave to the African American Mayors Association, but that he gave to me personally as well as mayor of Buffalo, New York.
You personally, and when he said, is there anything that we can do on the federal level to help, what was your response to that? Or what will be your response to that?
My response is resources for infrastructure investment, roads, resources for home repair. We are going to be funding employment and training programs. I'll announce that at the State of the City. That money comes from the American Rescue Plan Act. The great news is that the President, Vice President Harris, very focused on Buffalo, what this community experienced, and trying to bring money, attention, resources to Buffalo to strengthen the city.
Okay, and of course we'll be following up on all of that. Mayor Byron Brown, we thank you so much for being here today. Appreciate it.